Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only Hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Hosting Cruz, and Nonito Donaire, the Filipino Flash, has returned to boxing successfully at the age of 42 this past weekend in Argentina. He fought a guy from Chile, Andres Compos. Came in with a record of 17 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, 6 KOs, 29 years old, much younger than Nonito Donaire, who was coming into the fight number 8 ranked by the WBA, who was actually not only young, much younger than Nonito, but actually ranked by the WBA at number 8. Donaire hasn't fought in 2 years coming into this fight. He is 42 years old. So the question is, how will Nonito's body respond? And I watched the fight. The fight was pretty darn competitive. But of course, Nonito Donaire winning almost every round. He was, for a 42-year-old fighter, he was pretty sharp, explosive. The power, of course, is still there, the last thing to go. And not bad for 42 years old. Now, after defeating Andres Compos, who's not a bad fighter. Not bad for a 42-year-old Nonito Donaire to defeat, because Compos, like I said, he was ranked number 8 by the WBA coming in. So he was a ranked fighter. Young and ranked, and he gave Sonny Edwards a couple of years ago a good fight. So he was this was not bad at all. This was not really a tomato can, a taxi driver for Nonito at 42 years old to come back and fight. This was a solid fighter who could have given Nonito Donaire a bad night. 42 years old. It's young, but it's not young for boxing. Boxing is known for a reason to be a young man's sport. And with the career Nonito has had, man, with the wars as he's had in his career, and the wear and tear on his body. At 42 years old, to go in there and beat a young man like Andres Compos, who's ranked 29 years old, is impressive. And not only that, Nonito Donaire in process picks up the WBA interim bantamweight championship. So Nonito Donaire is champion again, kind of. But he's now in line for a world title shot against the current bantamweight champion, Antonio Vargas, who is actually going to be fighting Hiago, I think that's his name. I'm going to look for it right here for a second. Daigo Higa. So Antonio Vargas will be defending his belt against him. But in the meantime, the fight that I think Nonito Donaire is going to be taking on, he's going to be fighting Tenshin Nasukawa. Who's Tenshin Nasukawa? Well, besides doing that exhibition with Floyd Mayweather a couple of years ago, he is now one of the best up-and-coming Japanese fighters in boxing. 7-0, but highly impressive. Definitely ready for a world title shot. Currently ranked number 2 by the WBA. And Nonito holds the interim WBA strap. So since Antonio Vargas is currently busy with Daigo Higa, I can see Nonito fighting Tenshin for that spot to fight the winner of the Antonio Vargas versus Daigo Higa fight. And this will be, of course, a much stiffer challenge for Nonito. Getting over Andres Compos was impressive enough after not fighting 2 years. So getting in there with Tenshin Nasukawa is going to be a tough fight for Nonito Donaire. Prime Nonito or not prime Nonito. It's going to be a competitive fight. Highly competitive fight. Tenshin is no joke. He comes to fight. He's explosive. And he's very, very impressive. He's definitely going to be a world champion. So, and he's hungry. Nonito has nothing to prove. He is bound for the Hall of Fame. He can hang it up and, retire and not have any guilt. But Nonito Donaire wants to continue fighting just like Manny Pacquiao on July 19th. This is the return of the Filipino Legends 2025. So Nonito Donaire's comeback is successful. Let's see what happens with Manny Pacquiao. But this is not about Pacquiao. This is about Donaire on his return. It's successful as of right now. He has picked up an interim strap, and he is in the line to fight the world champion. But the world champion is busy, like I said, so he's likely to fight Tenshin Nasukawa in what should be a good fight, likely in Japan. Of course, Nonito had made a couple trips to Japan, fighting the Monster twice, giving the Monster one of his toughest fights in the first fight. So yeah, Nonito Donaire's back, man, at 42 years old, 43 wins, 8 losses, now the WBA interim champion in the bantamweight division. And he is probably gonna fight Tenshin Nasukawa next. So I won't be surprised that fight happens next, based on what I see here in the rankings in WBA. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about Nonito Donaire's performance. How do you see him fighting Tenshin Nasukawa? Will Nonito Donaire become world champion once again at 42 years old? We'll see. Only time will tell. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Hosting Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It is always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.